Welcome to the Borough Manager's Office of the Borough of Bath. I'd like to say this is where all the governmental magic happens, but it's really not. The real magic happens a few feet away from this office in council chambers, where all the tough decisions are made. Hi, I'm Brad Flynn, and I manage a small community in the Lehigh Valley of Pennsylvania. And to the disbelief of some, I'm not the supreme ruler of my community. This magisterial robe I simply got at a yard sale, and it keeps me warm in the mornings when I'm here in the office. So go ahead and take this off now. Yes. Contrary to popular belief, I am not the ultimate community decider here at the Borough of Bath. The ultimate deciders here are Borough Council. Although I would really like to have that control sometimes, but I don't think they'll give it to me. And yes, the public often confuses a town manager, borough manager such as myself as the ultimate community decider. And where there's a town manager, like here in Bath, and an elected mayor, the public incorrectly assumes the mayor is also a community commandant of sorts. In a situation where there is a council manager form of government, when you have an elected mayor in town, it's often ceremonial in purpose. Which is why I want to educate you, the public, on the differences between power and authority versus power, in local government as it relates to the different forms of government. Now, I've been a professional public manager for nearly 8 years now, serving the Borough of Bath during that entire time. This video series will discuss advocacy in professional public management and share with you the differences between authority versus power, between the elected and the appointed government officials. I am an appointed official by Borough Council. I'll tell you about the forms of government and how it relates to my role as the public manager. I'll share a good example of my borough's success, this room that we're in right now, through the council manager form of government. By the end of this video series, you should have a much better idea on where the control of a town's future lies. This video series is based on an article written by Mr. Jason Grant of the International City-County Management Association, which was published in the Public Management magazine, October 1 of 2021, entitled Advocacy, Authority versus Power, a Key Distinction in the Council Manager Form of Government. So I greatly appreciate Jason's permission to adopt his article to this video series that we're going to share with all of you. This video series applies to government at any different level, and it's of interest to the public administrators like myself, elected officials, and citizens to become more familiar with the two fundamental forms of government and how they generally work. The video series is going to be broken down into 4 parts. Part 1 is this introduction, but also an understanding of the forms of government. Council manager versus mayor-council. Part 2, applying authority versus power and balancing out those energies for the performance of the citizenry. Part 3, council manager form in action. Borough of Bath example. I've got a great example for you here, right here in Borough Hall. Part 4, summary and conclusion. So let's begin with developing an understanding of the 2 major forms of government. Council manager and the mayor-council forms of government. Professional public management reduces the likelihood of corruption, improving efficiencies of the government agency, and it works to achieve the strategic goals and outcomes of the elected town government. They're responsible for those goals. Professional public management can be implemented at any governmental level. The Borough of Bath, for which I serve, recognizes the form of government known as a strong council manager, or CM, form of government. The Borough of Bath first recognized the council manager form of government by adopting it through ordinance. On the ordinance book over there, it was ordinance number 372, June 4th, 1984. I was maybe this big. And this system strategically limits undue political influence in how Bath's government is operated. The system in Bath strengthens the power of the elected body who are representative of the citizens served through the voting process. And in contrast, another form of government is one in which elected politicians serve as the chief executive of government, in the form of a strong mayor or a county executive, the MC form of government. For example, in Northampton County, its government is operated with an elected county executive along with a county council. Or in the example of the city of Bethlehem, with an elected mayor and they have an elected city council. There's a misconception, however, that the appointed city county manager like myself, being unelected, somehow I have the power to operate independently from the will of the people. That's untrue. In fact, it's the exact opposite. Town county managers that are appointed by council are beholden to achieve council's goals and their objectives. The appointed manager's job depends on it. It's the motivation that keeps me, as an appointed manager, on task with the objectives that I'm given. Professional managers and elected officials work together to identify the needs of the community, setting goals, developing strategies to address those needs. In this way, policy, or the elected officials, and administration, professional managers, are not necessarily separate, as we'll continue to learn from. In part 2 of this series, we'll discuss how the council manager and the mayor-council forms of government are applied. We'll also talk about balancing out the energy of authority versus power in the context of the council manager, mayor-council forms of government. So stick around, you're going to want to see this. It's exciting.